Have you ever felt like the world is spinning too fast around you? Like your heart is pounding, your hands are shaking, and your thoughts are screaming? But everyone expects you to stay calm.
Maybe it's during an exam, or before a big job interview, or even when someone's yelling at you. Pressure has a way of making us feel small, frozen, even helpless.
But what if I told you staying calm isn't a talent, it's a skill? And today, we're going to teach you exactly how to build that skill step by step.
Welcome back to Speak English with Mishu, where we don't just teach you English, we help you grow in life, communication, and confidence.
Today's topic is how to stay calm under pressure. And honestly, Liam, this one's personal for me.
Same here. I used to panic every time something went wrong. My brain would shut down and I'd say or do the worst things under pressure.
And I'd freeze. I'd forget English words, I couldn't speak clearly, my voice would shake.
So if you're listening and thinking, that's me, you're not alone. This episode is for you.
Let's talk about it. Let's understand the real problem first. Why do we lose control under pressure?
Great question. Here's the truth. Your brain is designed to protect you. When it senses stress or fear, it activates something called the fight or flight response.
Your heartbeat speeds up, your breathing gets shallow, your brain thinks run or fight. That's why it's hard to think clearly during pressure. It's a survival response.
But here's the good news. You can train your brain to react differently. You can learn how to pause instead of panic. You can stay calm even when everything feels like it's falling apart.
And that's exactly what we're going to show you today. From emotional awareness to breathing techniques to vocabulary for handling pressure in English, we've got your back.
So whether you're a student, a professional, a parent, or just someone who wants to stop freaking out, stay with us. The pressure might not go away, but your power to handle it is about to grow.
Coming up next, the emotional and logical reasons why we panic under pressure and how understanding them is the first step to peace.
Let's dive a little deeper. If we want to stay calm under pressure, we first have to understand why we feel pressure at all. Where does that reaction come from?
That's right. When we're under pressure, whether it's a tight deadline, a public speech, or a relationship argument, our emotions take over before logic has a chance to speak. And that's natural.
Exactly. Our brains are wired for survival. Thousands of years ago, stress often meant danger, like a wild animal or a physical threat. So our bodies learn to respond immediately. Fast heartbeat, sweating, fast breathing.
But the problem is, today, our threats are usually emotional, not physical. We stress over judgment, failure, embarrassment, not tigers or cliffs.
And here's the key point. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real physical danger and emotional pressure. It reacts the same way. That's why we freeze during interviews or blank out in exams.
Let's break it down even more. Pressure usually comes from three emotional triggers. First, fear of failure. We worry about making mistakes and being judged.
Second, lack of control. When we don't know what will happen or how to fix it, we feel powerless. That uncertainty builds pressure.
And third, self-doubt. When we don't believe we're good enough or strong enough, our confidence cracks. And in that moment, the pressure grows louder than our potential.
So logically, we know it's okay to make mistakes. We know no one is perfect. But emotionally, we panic. Our body still reacts as if the world is ending.
This is why it's important to be gentle with yourself. Feeling nervous doesn't mean you're weak. Feeling overwhelmed doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you're human.
And it also means there's something you care about. Pressure only shows up when something matters. That's actually a good sign. It means you're invested.
So here's our first mindset shift. Don't hate the pressure, respect it. It's your mind's way of saying, this is important to me.
Coming up in the next part, we'll share practical, step-by-step strategies to manage that pressure. Simple things you can do the moment it hits to calm your body and clear your mind.
You don't have to live in panic. You can stay calm, steady, and confident even when life gets loud. We'll show you how.
Now that we understand why pressure feels so intense, it's time to take action. The first step to staying calm is very simple. Calm your body first.
It might sound obvious, but when you're under pressure, your body is the first to react. Your breathing changes, your muscles tighten, your voice might even tremble. If you try to fix your thoughts first without calming your body, you're fighting a losing battle.
Exactly. So what do? We interrupt the panic cycle. We send a message to the brain that says, hey, we're safe. You don't need to fight or run right now.
The easiest way to do this is with controlled breathing. Let me walk you through it. It's called the 4-7-8 method.
I love this one. Listeners, try it with us right now. Wherever you are, just pause for a moment. Ready?
Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Now hold that breath for 7 seconds. And slowly breathe out through your mouth for 8 seconds. Let's do that again. Inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8.
You can already feel it, right? Your body starts to loosen up. The heartbeat slows down. Your focus returns.
And the beauty of this is you can do it anywhere, before a speech, in a meeting, during an argument, or even before bed. It tells your nervous system we're okay, you can relax.
Another simple technique is muscle relaxation. Pressure often makes us tense our shoulders, our jaw, even our fists. So take 10 seconds and notice what part of your body feels tight.
Now, gently let that part relax. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, stretch your fingers. These small actions send calming signals to the brain.
So remember this. Before you can think clearly under pressure, your body needs to feel safe. The fastest way to do that is to breathe slow, relax your muscles, and stay still for just a few seconds.
This is the foundation. Without it, everything else feels harder. But once your body is calm, your mind opens up. You start thinking clearly. You feel more in control.
In the next part, we'll teach you how to use your thoughts to calm your emotions, how to speak to yourself in a way that builds confidence, not fear.
Because once the body is calm, the next step is mastering the mind. Now that we've learned how to calm the body, it's time to take care of the next piece, the mind. Because even when your body feels better, your thoughts can still pull you back into panic.
That's right. And when we're under pressure, the voice in our head can become our biggest enemy. It says things like, you can't do this. You're going to mess up. Everyone's watching you.
Those thoughts feel automatic, but they're not facts. They're just stories our brain is telling us. And if we don't challenge those stories, we believe them. We react as if they're true.
But here's the good news. You can learn to talk back. You can train your inner voice to be your coach instead of your critic.
Let me share a simple tool you can use. It's called the name and reframe method. First, you name the thought. For example, I'm going to fail. Then you reframe it. Change the way you see it.
So that thought, I'm going to fail, becomes, I'm nervous because I care. That's okay. I've prepared. I'll do my best.
Let's try another one. Thought, everyone's watching me. Reframe, maybe they are, but most people are focused on themselves. And even if they notice, it's okay to be human.
It's powerful, and it takes practice. But over time, this builds mental strength. You start responding with confidence, not fear.
Another helpful strategy is to ask yourself calming questions. When you feel pressure rising, pause and ask, what's the worst that can happen? Will this matter a week from now?
Those questions shrink the fear. They remind your brain, this isn't life or death. I'm okay. I can handle this.
And here's one more trick. Use your name. Instead of saying, I can do this, say, Emily, you've got this. It creates distance from the panic and helps your brain calm down faster.
That's what athletes and performers do. They coach themselves in the moment, and you can too.
So, calming your body is step one, but calming your thoughts, that's where real confidence begins. You have to speak to yourself with truth and kindness, not fear and pressure.
Coming up next, another powerful strategy. We'll talk about how to prepare for pressure before it happens, because the best time to stay calm is before the storm starts. If you want to stay calm under pressure, one of the smartest things you can do is prepare before pressure shows up. Because when you're prepared, the pressure feels smaller.
Let's imagine two people are about to give a speech. One practiced the night before, rehearsed key points, visualized success. The other just hoped for the best. Who's going to feel calmer on stage?
It's obvious, right? Preparation builds confidence. It gives your brain something solid to hold on to when everything feels shaky.
But preparation isn't just about memorizing facts. It's about preparing your response to pressure itself. How will you breathe when anxiety rises? What words will you say to yourself when panic hits?
And this is powerful because it puts you in control. You don't have to wait until you're overwhelmed to figure out how to stay calm. You already have a plan.
One way to prepare is called visual rehearsal. Take a few minutes each day to close your eyes and imagine yourself in a high-pressure situation. See yourself breathing slow, standing tall, speaking clearly.
Your brain responds to that like it's real practice. It builds mental memory. So when the real moment comes, it feels more familiar, less scary.
You can also create a simple pressure toolkit. Write down 3 calming sentences you'll use. Practice your breathing method. Even carry a reminder card in your pocket with your anchor words, like, I'm calm, I'm ready, I'm enough.
That might sound small, but in the heat of the moment, small tools become powerful weapons. They remind you you are not powerless. You are prepared.
So ask yourself, what moments usually make you panic? Public speaking, exams, family arguments? Start preparing now. Practice staying calm in small, safe situations.
Because if you can breathe deeply during traffic or speak clearly during a difficult conversation with a friend, those are reps. Every time you practice, you're training for bigger moments.
Remember, staying calm under pressure isn't about being fearless, it's about being ready. The calmest people are not lucky, they're prepared.
Coming up in the next part, we'll share a powerful mindset technique that helps you detach from chaos and find peace in any situation. Let's be honest. Sometimes, no matter how much you breathe, prepare, or try to detach from the chaos, it still feels impossible to stay calm. Everything falls apart. You lose control.
And that's okay. Let's normalize that. Even the most confident, successful people in the world have moments where they panic, freeze, or say the wrong thing under pressure.
So, if you've had those moments, maybe during an exam, a job interview, a family fight, you're not alone. The real question isn't, how do I never mess up again? It's, how do I respond when I do?
One powerful tool here is called self-compassion. Instead of saying, I blew it, try saying, that was tough. I'm still learning. I can grow from this.
This isn't about being soft on yourself. It's about being strong enough to keep moving forward without shame pulling you back.
Because here's the truth. Pressure doesn't only come from the outside. It also comes from within. Our expectations, our fear of failure, our desire to prove ourselves.
And when things go wrong, our inner voice can become brutal. You should have handled that better. Why can't you just stay calm? Everyone else is doing fine.
But that voice isn't helping. It's just adding more pressure to your pressure. What you need in that moment is a calm, encouraging voice like the one you'd use with a close friend.
Try this. Next time you mess up or panic under pressure, pause. Put your hand on your heart if you can, and say something like, that was hard. I did my best. I'll learn from this and try again.
That might sound small, but it's life-changing. Because when you give yourself grace, you stay open to growth. You don't shut down.
And don't forget, you can recover. One bad moment doesn't define the whole day. One mistake doesn't erase your progress. You can always reset, refocus, and try again.
Staying calm under pressure isn't about being perfect. It's about being resilient. It's about showing up again tomorrow with just a little more wisdom and strength.
And sometimes, your greatest growth comes right after the pressure. That moment when you reflect, learn, and choose to rise again.
Now, let's take everything we've talked about and bring it to life. In the next part,
you'll hear a real-world role play where Liam and I show you exactly how to stay calm under pressure using the tools we've shared.
Let's walk through a real-life situation that most people can relate to, a high-pressure moment at work. Liam, you'll play the employee, I'll be the manager.
All right, the setup. I've just made a small but important mistake on a report. I'm called into a sudden meeting with my manager, Emily, and I'm feeling nervous, embarrassed, and under pressure.
Liam, thanks for joining me. I noticed a few errors in the report you submitted this morning. Can you explain what happened?
Yes, absolutely. First, I want to acknowledge the mistake. I've reviewed it, and I realized I missed a step during the final review. I was rushing to meet the deadline, and I didn't double-check the numbers. That's on me.
I appreciate your honesty, but this report was supposed to go to the client in 2 hours. That puts us in a tough spot.
I completely understand. I'm already correcting the errors, and I've set aside the next hour to make sure the revised version is clean and accurate. I've also created a checklist to use moving forward, so this won't happen again.
Good. I can see you're taking this seriously. I'll check in before we send it out. Keep me updated.
Absolutely. And again, I appreciate your feedback. I'll fix it and follow up shortly.
Okay, let's pause there. That's what staying calm under pressure looks like in action. Liam, how did you feel during that?
Honestly, even pretending, I could feel the nerves. But I focused on breathing slowly, speaking clearly, and owning my mistake instead of defending it. That shifted the energy.
Exactly. You didn't panic, you didn't blame others, you responded calmly, took responsibility, and offered a solution. That's leadership, even in a moment of stress.
And it's worth pointing out, you don't have to feel calm to act calm. Often the action comes first, and the feeling follows.
So true. If you're listening to this, think about a high-pressure moment you've experienced recently. How would it have changed if you used this calm, honest, solution-focused approach?
You can even role-play it yourself. Practice alone in front of a mirror or with a friend. It's a great way to build muscle memory and confidence for the next real moment.
Coming up, we're going to help you take your English to the next level. We'll break down some key vocabulary and expressions from this episode and show you how to use them in your own conversations. Let's walk through a real-life situation that most people can relate to, a high-pressure moment at work. Liam, you'll play the employee. I'll be the manager.
All right. The setup, I've just made a small but important mistake on a report. I'm called into a sudden meeting with my manager, Emily, and I'm feeling nervous, embarrassed, and under pressure.
Liam, thanks for joining me. I noticed a few errors in the report you submitted this morning. Can you explain what happened?
Yes, absolutely. First, I want to acknowledge the mistake. I've reviewed it, and I realized I missed a step during the final review. I was rushing to meet the deadline, and I didn't double-check the numbers. That's on me.
I appreciate your honesty, but this report was supposed to go to the client in 2 hours. That puts us in a tough spot.
I completely understand. I'm already correcting the errors, and I've set aside the next hour to make sure the revised version is clean and accurate. I've also created a checklist to use moving forward, so this won't happen again.
Good. I can see you're taking this seriously. I'll check in before we send it out. Keep me updated.
Absolutely. And again, I appreciate your feedback. I'll fix it and follow up shortly.
Okay, let's pause there. That's what staying calm under pressure looks like in action. Liam, how did you feel that?
Honestly, even pretending, I could feel the nerves. But I focused on breathing slowly, speaking clearly, and owning my mistake instead of defending it. That shifted the energy.
Exactly. You didn't panic, you didn't blame others. You responded calmly, took responsibility, and offered a solution. That's leadership, even in a moment of stress.
And it's worth pointing out, you don't have to feel calm to act calm. Often the action comes first, and the feeling follows.
So true. If you're listening to this, think about a high-pressure moment you've experienced recently. How would it have changed if you used this calm, honest, solution-focused approach?
You can even role-play it yourself. Practice alone in front of a mirror or with a friend. It's a great way to build muscle memory and confidence for the next real moment.
Coming up, we're going to help you take your English to the next level. We'll break down some key vocabulary and expressions from this episode and show you how to use them in your own conversations.
Let's dive into some useful English words and expressions we've used in today's episode. These will help you speak more confidently in stressful or professional situations.
Yes, and remember, don't just understand these words. Practice them. Use them in your own life. That's how real fluency is built.
Okay, here's the first one. 1. Under pressure. This phrase means being in a situation where you feel stress because something important needs to happen fast or correctly. Example, I make more mistakes when I work under pressure.
Exactly. It's very common in both work and personal life. Now, here's the next one. 2. Take a step back. This means to pause and look at a situation more calmly and clearly instead of reacting immediately. Example, before replying to the angry email, I took a step back and thought about my tone.
Great phrase for emotional control. Next, 3. Own your mistake. This means to admit when you've done something wrong without blaming others. Example, he owned his mistake during the meeting and everyone respected him more for it.
That phrase shows maturity and leadership. Number 4. 4. Stay grounded. This means staying calm, steady, and connected to reality, even when things get intense. Example, during the crisis, she stayed grounded and helped the team stay focused.
And the last one for today, 5. Keep your cool. This is an informal way to say stay calm, especially in a tense moment. Example, even when the client yelled, he kept his cool and answered politely.
All of these expressions are powerful because they combine emotional intelligence with clear communication. That's what helps you stand out, especially under pressure.
If you're listening, try to repeat each phrase out loud. Then challenge yourself to use it in a sentence from your own life.
You could even write a short journal entry about a time you felt pressure. Try to use at least 3 of these expressions in your story.
Coming up next, we're going to wrap this episode with something special. A few words of encouragement that will lift your mood and remind you you can get better at this.
If no one has told you this lately, let us be the first. You are doing better than you think.
You're learning how to face pressure not by avoiding it, but by walking through it with courage and grace.
Staying calm under pressure isn't something you're born with. It's a skill. And like any skill, it grows with practice, mistakes, reflection, and effort.
And every time you pause instead of panic, take a breath instead of snapping, or speak with clarity instead of confusion, you are building that skill.
Let's not pretend it's easy. Life throws a lot at you. Maybe it's family stress, deadlines, exams, big decisions, social anxiety, the fear of failing or disappointing people.
But in those moments, remind yourself, you are not powerless. You have tools, you have language, you have presence.
And even if you mess up sometimes, it doesn't erase your progress. It doesn't cancel your value. It doesn't define your future.
You're human. That means you're allowed to feel pressure. What matters is what you do next.
And from what we've seen today, you're the kind of person who wants to learn, grow, and lead. That makes you powerful.
So the next time you feel overwhelmed, try this. Slow your breathing. Repeat a calming phrase like, I've got this, or one thing at a time. Focus on what you can do, not what's out of your control. And trust, the calm is already within you. You just have to return to it.
Pressure will always come, but panic doesn't have to. With awareness, tools, and practice, you can respond with clarity, even in chaos.
And we'll be here to remind you of that every step of the way.
Coming up, we'll give you a quick recap of everything we covered today. If you've made it this far, you're doing something great for your future self. Let's quickly review what we covered today. First, we talked about why staying calm under pressure is so important, not just for your success, but for your peace of mind.
Then we explored common struggles people face when the pressure hits: racing thoughts, physical tension, fear of failure, and self-doubt.
We discussed emotional and logical reasons behind these reactions, how habits, mindset, and even social expectations shape how we respond to stress.
Next, we shared 4 practical strategies you can use right now: deep breathing and grounding, positive self-talk, preparation, and focusing on solutions instead of problems.
We also talked about real-life challenges, the obstacles that make staying calm feel impossible, and how self-compassion can be your secret weapon.
In our role play, you heard how to respond calmly and responsibly during a stressful work situation. Plus, we taught you 5 key English phrases to help express yourself clearly under pressure.
And finally, we ended with motivation, a reminder that staying calm is a skill anyone can develop with practice, patience, and kindness towards yourself.
If you found value in today's episode, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might benefit too.
Your support helps us create more content that empowers you to improve your English and your life.
And we'd love to hear from you. What tips or moments helped you stay calm recently? Leave a comment below or connect with us on social media.
Remember, your calm is your strength. Keep practicing, keep believing, and keep growing.
Thanks so much for spending this time with us today. We're proud of you, and we'll see you in the next episode.
As we close today's episode, remember this: pressure is a part of life, but it doesn't have to control you.
Every time you choose calm over chaos, you build resilience. You create space for clear thinking, better decisions, and stronger connections.
It might not be easy at first. Change never is, but every small step counts. Each moment you stay calm is a victory.
If you want to keep growing your English and your confidence, keep joining us here at Speak English with Mishu. We're on this journey together.
Don't forget to practice the phrases and techniques we shared today. Use them in your daily conversations, your work, or even just talking to yourself.
And if you enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with a friend or colleague who might need to hear these words today.
We'll be back soon with more tips, stories, and conversations to help you speak English naturally and live with more confidence.
Until next time, keep calm, keep learning, and keep shining.
Thanks for listening to Speak English with Mishu. Have a wonderful day.